drawing. So you need to look here, but I'm going to be looking at the fabric back there, okay? So, and it's hard to talk and do it at the same time. So, high energy, really getting involved physically, right? Because you're trying to get a sense of capture the movement and flow and fluidity of the fabric. And so moving quickly, lots of energy. Okay, I'm not thinking about structure. It's really just warm up. All right, so. Okay, so that's gesture. So we're going to do a few of these to warm up. All right, but you can see, can't you see? You can just feel and see the movement in these lines. So this is going to, you're going to be acquainted quickly with the movement and flow and even a little bit of the placement of the fabric. And as you're drawing, this is something you're going to constantly have to include in your drawing, even when you're working on it for 6 hours, right, for 2 classes. Trying to keep the energy up and the fluidity and flow in the drawing. All right, want me to do it again? That was fun. I'll do it one more time. I know what. Let me do a no-no demonstration, okay? That's always, sometimes that works better. I'll do a demonstration of what you're not supposed to do for a gesture drawing, okay? It's hard for me to even do that.
It's because you're on camera.
Well, it's hard for me to do it because when I'm looking at that, my response is about movement. Because when you're looking at fabric, it's so much about the flow and the curves and the dropping,
it's also
right?
one of those things.
It's hard for me to hold that back. So this just looks a little stiff, right? It just doesn't have the sense of movement and gesture that does. So I think being involved, right, being engaged, being physically involved, and having a lot of energy in your body and in your arm is key for gesture. And they're done in just a few seconds. It's a great warm-up. You can't do a gesture, though, for an apple. See what I'm saying? Because an apple doesn't in itself have a lot of movement, right? But maybe, ooh, your hair would be a fantastic, right? Everybody get it? Fantastic subject for gesture drawing. All right, so it's got to be something that kind of has some movement in it. Fabric, landscape is fantastic. Hair, I guess, and the figure. We're going to do this again when the figure's here. Okay. All right, so that's the warm-up gesture drawing. Okay, so I'm going to take it for you guys step by step. Let's pretend I just did a bunch of thumbnail sketches. I'm going to skip that step, okay? And now I'm going to block in my drawing. All right? And let me look back there again. Okay. Focus on something. I think I am going to include just a little touch of negative space here. Now I did something tricky for you guys. Under this one I put a rectangular pedestal at the bottom, you see there? So that's just a different kind of movement. That could help you contrast. It's just going to be a different kind of movement there. Everybody sense that here? See the kind of geometry here? Okay, maybe that's it. That's pretty much blocked in. Right? So the blocking in fabric goes really fast. And I tried to keep a little bit of some movement in there again. A little bit of the gesture drawing I just did. Not too extremely, but a little bit of the energy there. Okay. All right, so next step would be blocking in the value. Now, there's a couple of ways to do this. You can make this completely about lifting out if you want. So you could really just cover the whole thing with a light gray. All right, so I think I'm just gonna do that just to show you guys. Okay, I'm just gonna cover it all with a light gray. I'm not really pressing in my charcoal too much, so I can easily lift it out. Kind of redrawing my lines in there so I can remember where I am. Just going to cover my whole paper quickly with the gray. Do this. Maybe there's a way to block it in and start picking up some movements. Draw some of this back in. Okay, so I'm blocked in. So that also just took a minute or so. Okay, so now I really have a lot of time to come in and really start studying my fabric. So first layer, I want to start looking at, remember the general to specific, the larger movements, okay? And this is, I talked to you last class about the different kinds of edges. Hard edge, soft edge, no edge. These are going to be mostly, which one do you think? No edge, right? Mostly no edge, mostly chiaroscuro. I might have, ooh, I forgot, that was my negative space. I might have some hard edges if I'm getting what? Where would the hard edges on this fabric or the shirt be?
Like on that fabric over there, it's probably be like around the boss or something.
Right, this could be maybe a hard edge, right? Where else might there be a hard edge in the fabric study? Could be, yep, next to the negative space, and that's what made me think of it because I need to start subtracting right away and maybe pull out my negative space here. But that's okay. I'm going to leave a little bit of mist in there because I probably don't want it pure white anyway, but I'm already starting to make a little contrast there between the negative space and the shirt, okay? So actually this might be more of a soft edge. So your hard edges are going to be here where I've invented this hard edge with this object coming through. The collar, right, around the shirt, the end of the cuff, the seams and hems around the fabric. You might not even have, I'm probably not going to have any hard edges in this. So either going to be no edge or maybe just some soft edges. Okay. All right. Okay, so the next thing to do is kind of just start blocking in these large areas, again, going from general to specific. I'm not looking at those small little crinkles. I'm not going to be looking at the buttons yet at this point. That's what I'm going to be doing next class, which isn't until Thursday, a week from today.